A day of volunteering in honor of the legacy of Martin Luther King.
Plus, 4 quarters can equal a night at the movie theaters. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
A high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus with news from Troy University locations around the world. This is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for January 17, 2013. I'm Amanda Ford.
And I'm Deatra Montgomery. Thanks for joining us this evening. Monday is Martin Luther King Day, and in honor of the civil rights pioneer, Troy students will use their day off to do some good in the community. Haley Greathouse let us know how.
King Day.
Monday is a holiday from classes at Troy University, but for students it could be an opportunity to do some work and help out in the community.
Monday, which is our day off for Martin Luther King Day, it's a national day of service where folks across the nation will be engaging in service to reflect on the life and legacy of Dr. King. And so what we've done is we've set up 8 different service projects throughout the city of Troy and Pike County. And
even though there will be some work involved, Sealand says it will be pretty easy for students to take part in the volunteer effort.
Students can show up 12:30 in the Trojan Center lounge and sign up for a project. You'll be transported to the project and back, and everything's just kind of built in, ready-made. All you have to do is show up.
And showing up is something Sealand hopes plenty of Troy students will do on Monday, because he feels volunteering teaches lessons students can carry with them after graduation.
We expect our students to leave the university prepared to be good citizens in the communities in which they live, and so part of that is giving back to your community by engaging in local needs through volunteerism.
And not only will volunteering help after graduation, students will see a benefit in the present because according to Sealand, it will give students a chance to leave their rooms on Monday.
Students are always complaining about, oh, there's nothing to do in Troy on a day off, and this is, a great way to build off some of that which I'm talking about is, taking some ownership in your community.
Haley Greathouse, Troy TrojanVision News.
Once again, sign up for the day of service will begin at 12:30 in the Trojan Center. If you have any questions about the day of service, you can contact Sealand at 808-6349 or visit his office in Eldridge Hall, room 115.
High school students from across Pike County visited the TrojanVision studios today to get a taste of what we do here every day. Caitlin Crow has the story.
High school students, a part of the Global Studies program from the Pike County area, visited the set of TrojanVision for the second time this semester on Thursday morning to learn more about broadcasting.
We are just learning the ropes of doing the newscast, and we are working it, all the cameras and audio and stuff like that, just seeing if we like it, getting a feel for journalism.
Students were given the opportunity to direct, anchor for news, sports, or weather, and run teleprompter or cameras.
It's a lot of behind the scenes that go on behind the camera that we don't know about.
Students were able to learn the ins and outs of being on air at TrojanVision. Some even had a few laughs as they discovered it's not always easy.
Yes, I did the weather, and I learned that you have to, where to stand and, all the different weather types and forecasts. And it's pretty interesting. It's comical.
Regardless of the glitches, students were thankful to have a better image of what a typical newscast is like. Global Studies Coordinator Ginger Boutwell shares her goal of the day.
Just to really see the behind the scenes of what goes on within a newscast, and like I've said before, this could be something that might spark a career in journalism.
Student Olivia Hudson says although she does not plan to go into broadcasting, she was thankful for the experience.
Not necessarily, but it was an experience.
Caitlin Crow, Troy TrojanVision News.
The Global Studies students are juniors and seniors from Charles Henderson, Goshen, and Pike County High Schools. Well, Deatra, going to the movies can be a bit expensive for some college students.
That is definitely true, Amanda. But once every other Wednesday, all a Troy student will need to watch a movie is $1. Jamarlo Phillips has more.
Wednesday night, Troy University's Activities Council held their first dollar movie night of the semester at Continental Cinemas in Troy.
Tonight we have UAC night, which is sponsored by the university, and it is $1 movie night where students can get into movies for $1.
Dollar movie night is held on the first and third Wednesdays of every month. Where regular price tickets are sold at $9, Troy University students only pay $1.
It's very helpful for the theater during the fall and the spring because at school we're very slow in business, and it really helps with us with concessions and getting some money through and some flow, for just Troy in general and for the university.
Some students say dollar movie night is a cheap and easy way to have fun.
You get to come out and enjoy with your friends, which is not often since you're really tied down with work. So it's nice to get a break.
Every semester I look forward to going to movie nights and just being with friends, and it's just a fun experience to go see movies for $1.
Jamarlo Phillips, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The next movie night will be February the 6th.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Gardendale, North Alabama, Methodists have named an interim pastor to replace a preacher charged with the murder and the slaying of his wife. Bill Bostic will take over at Gardendale Mount Vernon United Methodist Church beginning Thursday. The former pastor at Gardendale Mount Vernon, the Reverend Terry Greer, is recovering from what police describe as a suicide attempt after the gunshot killing of his wife, Lisa Greer.
In Montgomery, 3 people have been sentenced in charges stemming from a carjacking and kidnapping in May of 2011. Officials arrested 26-year-old Joshua Gilley of Enterprise, 25-year-old Wesley Rogers of Ozark, and 37-year-old Melissa McGee of Delville. Officials say the men assaulted and carjacked a couple after McGee lured to a rural area and drove off with the couple's 3 young children.
And also in Montgomery, the governor's Medicaid Advisory Committee is recommending that Alabama's Medicaid program be divided into as many as 11 or 12 decisions across the state. The CEO of Children's Hospital in Birmingham, Mike Warren, made the recommendation to the committee and it was approved. Committee members said the divisions reflect the different needs in various parts of the state.
And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the women's basketball team was looking to pick up their first conference victory last night. Danielle Percival will be in with the details of that game and more when she joins us for sports.
But first, conflicting reports on the hostage situation at an energy complex in the Sahara Desert. We'll have that story and more after the break.
Creates more questions than answers for the State Department. I'm Danielle Nottingham. I'll have the story coming up.
It's fear death. A massive earthquake has rocked the city. Worst natural disaster this region has ever witnessed.
When a disaster strikes, time is a killer. The UN Central Emergency Response Fund jumpstarts relief efforts, which saves lives. Help us help in time. Donate now at rapiddisasterrelief.org.
Our Eat Troy program is one of the largest in Troy University. So whether students take classes in Tennessee or in South Korea or Japan or Vietnam, there is no difference in quality.
Get your degree on your terms with eTroy online degree programs. Flexible, accredited, respected across the globe. Troy University, it's all you need to know.
My name is Dr. Lee, Troy University College of Education, and I choose Troy.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
Now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Amanda Ford at the Global News Desk. Amanda.
Thanks, Tiatra. An unarmed American Predator drone is now at the Algerian gas plant where armed attackers took workers hostage, including some Americans. The U.S. is getting its first independent look at what has been a very confusing situation with reports that some hostages have been killed and some have escaped. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from the State Department.
BP says it has no reliable information about the unfolding hostage situation at its natural gas plant in Algeria. The Algerian army surrounded the plant, and diplomatic sources say the army's rescue attempt resulted in the deaths of some hostages. Other reports indicate some hostages were released or escaped.
Can only say that we are deeply concerned about any loss of innocent life and are seeking clarity from the government of Algeria.
The In Amenez natural gas complex sits on Algeria's border with Libya. About 20 gunmen stormed the remote plant Wednesday afternoon, separating Algerian workers from about 40 foreign workers, including 3 Americans. A State Department source tells CBS News the gunmen carried AK-47s and RPGs. Some also had suicide vests. An al-Qaeda-linked terrorist group that calls itself the Masked Brigade is claiming responsibility. Their leader goes by an Arabic nickname meaning one-eyed man. The group says it took the hostages in response to Algeria's cooperation with French troops fighting Islamic militants in neighboring Mali. Traveling in Italy Wednesday, Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta said the U.S. backs the French efforts in Mali and condemns the hostage-taking.
By all indications, this is a terrorist act.
With U.S. support, the French military started bombing areas in Mali last week to keep Islamic groups from taking over the country. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, the State Department.
6 months after a gunman killed 12 people and injured dozens more inside a Colorado movie theater, the multiplex is reopening tonight. There will be a ceremony for survivors, victims' family members, and officials. Teresa Garcia has the latest from the theater in Aurora, Colorado, where some people are upset about the ceremony.
Dave Hoover received an invitation to the private reopening of the Aurora movie theater, but he's not going.
No. Sorry.
His nephew AJ was killed in the massacre 6 months ago. Hoover does not want to go back.
I can't live in that theater anymore. It's too dark and too hard to live in that.
Cinemark, the company that owns the multiplex, will hold a remembrance ceremony and movie screening for survivors and family members of those who died in the shooting. But most of those who lost loved ones in the attack are boycotting the event.
They want to use this as a stepping stone to try and boost ticket sales for their grand reopening.
This movie complex, renamed Century Aurora, has undergone a $1 million renovation. The theater where the shooting happened has a new screen, seats, and carpeting. But for those who were here last July, the memories are still fresh.
I'm not gonna lie, once I got in there, I did start crying. I haven't cried since it happened.
Corbin Dates sat directly behind the gunman before the rampage. Dates was given a tour of the newly remodeled theater. He is going to the reopening because he also has happier memories.
I myself had my first kiss behind the theater, so if they tore it down, yes, a part of my history would be gone.
Organizers of the event won't say which movie will be shown tonight. Dates, who usually prefers sci-fi action flicks, hopes it will be a family movie. Teresa Garcia, CBS News, Aurora, Colorado.
New American Cancer Society numbers show the overall cancer death rate has dropped significantly in the last few decades, but some cancers are still on the rise. Inez Ferre reports from New York.
Cindy Slabicki underwent a lumpectomy and radiation after doctors discovered cancer in her breast last fall. The 60-year-old was concerned, but took it in stride.
I know so many women who have had breast cancer, and fortunately, the ones I do know came out of it okay. So I think I kind of had that in my mind.
A new report from the American Cancer Society finds the overall death rate from cancer has gone down 20% from its peak in 1991. The drop is even greater for the big four: breast, lung, colorectal, and prostate cancer.
Fewer Americans are smoking. After that, it's improvements in early detection of cancer and improvements in treatment of cancer.
The report still expects more than 1 million new cancer cases this year and more than 500,000 cancer deaths. And death rates are still rising for some cancers, including melanoma.
46-year-old Lisa Moffett had a malignant mole removed from her back nearly 3 years ago. Like many melanoma patients, she didn't protect her skin from the sun.
Every year I'd get a serious sunburn and then I would tan, and I thought that was nice. How are you?
Her doctor says early detection is key.
If you see a spot that's new, a spot that's changing in any way, getting bigger, getting darker, it needs to be addressed.
Moffett now wears sunscreen and hopes her cancer doesn't come back. Ines Ferre for CBS News, New York.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, like a new study on eating habits that could help you find a way to feel fuller quicker, you can tune in to Trojan Vision Global News right after the nightly news. Now back to you, Deatra.
Thanks, Amanda. And now Danielle Percival joins us with sports. So Danielle, the women's basketball team was back in action last night.
That's right, Deatra. The women played last night. The men will hit the court in just a little while here tonight, and so we've got lots to get into. Let's jump right in.
All right.
When you have a season high, it's usually a good thing, right? But when it's a season high in turnovers, it usually doesn't turn out too well. The Trojans were looking for their first conference win last night in Florida against Florida Atlantic, but the Trojans committed 31 turnovers in a 74-63 loss to FAU Wednesday night. The loss is the second of the season to FAU for the Trojans, who are 3-13 now this season. Troy pulled to his closest 5 points with under 9 minutes left in the game, but couldn't close the gap. Jasmine Pitts scored a career-high 18 points, including 15 in the second half. Troy shot 48% from the field, however, they were just 2 of 7 from deep. The Trojans return to the court on Saturday as they conclude their South Florida road swing at FIU. Tip-off is set for 4:30 p.m. Central Time from the U.S. Century Bank Arena. And the men's basketball team is also on the Sunshine State road trip as well, with their first action tonight. They too will be taking on the Owls of FAU and looking to build on a 2-game winning streak. With a win tonight, the Trojans would match a 3-game streak from November, their longest winning streak of the season. They'll have to do it, though, against a team they've already lost to once this year. The Trojans and Owls played in Trojan Arena 2 days after Christmas, and an 18-0 run by FAU during the middle portion of that game put it out of reach for the Trojans. They'll have to avoid long scoreless stretches tonight if they want a chance at redemption. The Trojans and Owls will hit the court in Boca Raton at 6 o'clock tonight. This year's Heisman Trophy runner-up is in the news this week, but not for his abilities on the field. Though Manti Te'o's skills as a football player have not been questioned, his judgment is under scrutiny after reports claim the death of his girlfriend and even her existence was a hoax. Vanita Nair has the latest from New York.
Notre Dame officials say they fully support star football player Manti Te'o, who insists he thought he had a real relationship with a woman.
This was a very elaborate, very sophisticated hoax. Manti was the victim of that hoax. Manti is the victim of that hoax.
When Manti's grandmother passed away last fall and word spread his girlfriend, Lene Kakua, died just hours later from leukemia, football fans across the country got behind the Hawaiian football star.
Last thing she said to me was, "I love you."
The sports blog Deadspin now says that girlfriend never existed.
22-year-old Stanford grad gets in a near-fatal car accident, contracts leukemia, and then dies. That's a big tragedy. That's going to be written up somewhere. It wasn't. There was no death notice, no obituary, no announcement of her funeral.
Deadspin says a friend of Te'o's is behind the hoax and does not rule out that Te'o may have been part of the deception. But Te'o released a statement saying he was duped into a fake online and phone relationship with a woman and that he is humiliated. But some question why he never corrected media reports that he'd spent time with Kakua in Hawaii. Notre Dame officials say Te'o discussed the apparent hoax with them in late December before the national championship game against Alabama. The school says it decided not to contact the police, saying it left that up to Te'o. Vanita Nair, CBS News.
So the men's basketball team is going to be hitting the court in just about 45 minutes. Wish them the best of luck. Hopefully we can report on a W tomorrow night.
Definitely hope they come home with a win. Too bad to hear about the girls, but definitely hope the boys come home with
That's
a
right.
win.
Better luck next time.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Danielle.
Thank you, Danielle. Still to come on Trojan Vision Nightly News, Aaron Taylor sits down with Troy University's SGA president to talk about their spring agenda.
But first, the weather is getting colder and colder. How long will these cooler temperatures be with us, Jamarlo?
Well, the odds for these cooler temperatures may stick around and even going into the weekend. But I have more on that coming up next in weather.
stand for something bigger than ourselves and protect the things we love. Although we were ready to face any mission, help those in need, and make a difference, for some of us, coming home was more of a challenge than we expected. In the service, we had each other's backs. But as veterans, it can sometimes feel like we're all alone, even when surrounded by our loved ones.
At the Veterans Crisis Line, we understand what you're going through, and we can help. It's your call.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now Jamarla Phillips joins us with weather.
So Jamarla, temperatures have been rapidly dropping today. Are we looking to see those cold temperatures stick around the rest of the weekend?
They have, Amanda, and I believe this is the coolest it's been in a while. And as far as the weekend goes, I believe that we may be still experiencing some cooler temperatures. It may warm up a little bit, but not too much. But first, let's get into these current conditions. As we take a look at our campus snapshot, we can see that the sun has begun to set. It's been a very cool day on the campus of Troy University. Going into our current conditions, our skies right now are cloudy. Temperature coming in at 39 degrees. Dew point at 32 degrees. Humidity at 74%. Barometer reading 30.04 inches and going steady with our winds coming from the west, northwest at about 16 miles per hour. Taking a look at today's stats, today we were able to see a high of 51 degrees, a low 39. We were able to see just a slight chance of rain today. Sun rose this morning at 6:43 a.m. and has already set at 5:04 p.m. As we take a look at temperatures from around the state, we can see that Phoenix City is sitting at 37 degrees, Dothan at 38 degrees. We can see Troy in our area, which is sitting at 39 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. We can see Montgomery at 39 degrees as well. Birmingham 35, Huntsville 43, and Mobile sitting down here at 52, being the highest across the state right now. Taking a look at our current temperatures across our area, again, we can see that we're still in those low 30 degree temperatures in our area. But as we take a look across the United States, we can see that we have a lot of cooler temperatures. We have cool temperatures up in the Michigan area all the way down to the 5s, 7s, and 9s. But again, as we take a look at our area, again, we're still experiencing those low 30 to low 40 degree temperatures. As we take a look at our forecast winds, we can see that today we're able to see a very slight chance of very breezy winds, nothing too devastating, I guess. Taking a look at our current service map. As we take a look at our area, we can see that we have these gust of winds right here, that what I've said just before. As we take a look towards the east, we can see that they have a lot of action right here, bit of snow and rain. So those areas right there have seen some snow today. Taking a look at our current surface map in our area, a closer look, we can see that in our area again, the northern portion of Alabama, they're experiencing those almost freezing conditions, rain, ice, or maybe even snow in those areas. Taking a look at our precipitation forecast for the next 48 hours. In our area, we can see that the eastern portion of Alabama, as well as going into Georgia, will be experiencing a slight chance of rain the next 48 hours. So do be on the lookout for that if you are going to be in those areas. Taking a look at Friday's forecast. Friday, we are expected to see a clear forecast. That's great compared to what we've been seeing in the last few days. Saturday, again, another clear forecast. Going to Sunday, no rain in our area, no activity at all. Taking a look at Monday forecast, again, a clear forecast. But as we take a look at tonight's forecast, tonight we will be seeing a chance of evening showers, clear skies overnight, early winds coming from the north and northwest about 15 to 25 miles per hour with a low of 31 degrees. Going into tomorrow's forecast, tomorrow we'll be seeing clear and sunny skies, mild winds coming from the north-northwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour with a high of 58 degrees. Taking a look at our 4-day forecast. As we take a look at Friday, we can see that Friday we'll be seeing sunny skies, a high of 58 degrees, a low of 32. Saturday, high of 62, low of 38. Sunday, mostly cloudy skies, a high of 64 and low of 35. And as we go into Monday of next week, we'll be seeing sunny skies and a high of 60 degrees. So we're definitely going to still be experiencing these cool temperatures, but I'll tell you, today is definitely has hit the spot to where it's as cool as it's been.
All right, thank you, Jamarla.
All right,
Thanks, Jamarla.